Welcome, everyone. I'm Peg Talbert. I'm the director of Love Light, one of the many, many Fisher family charities that you will learn a little bit about today. This is probably the first time the Changing the Face of Philanthropy Award has ever been given to a family, and actually 4 generations of one family, of amazing men and women. Changing the Face is given to those who inspire, contribute substantially of their time, money, and vision, and exemplify the diversity of WFN. You will soon understand why this family deserves the award. Having grown up in the Detroit area, I can assure you that Max and Marjorie Fisher were well known for their philanthropy. From the Detroit Institute of Art, to the Symphony, to soup kitchens, or the Jewish Federation, their impact was everywhere. In fact, Max Fisher was known to make it a point to give away half of his income every year. His daughter, Julie Fisher Cummings, learned from her parents. Aside from chairing the Council of Michigan Foundations, helping to start the local Jewish Women's Fund, and serving on the board of the Community Foundation of Southeast Michigan, in addition to about 10 or 15 other boards, she began a public charity called Love Light in the 1990s, dedicated to serving the needs of low-income women and their families in Detroit. Ultimately, Love Light was reconfigured from a public charity to a private women's fund when Julie and her husband, Peter Cummings, co-founded Love Light through Julie's participation in Women Moving Millions. Love Light has been a member of WFN since 2010, and the board now consists of Julie's daughter, Caroline, and daughter-in-law, Dina. Love Light is a multi-generational foundation committed to the empowerment of women and their children by promoting programs and partnerships that support social change. But that's just one part of this family. Doug will now describe more of these remarkable individuals.
Thanks, Peg. It's an extreme honor to serve the family in their combined efforts to repair the world through the Max M. and Marjorie S. Fisher Foundation. While I only had the honor to meet Mr. Fisher one time before he passed away, I have the extreme pleasure of working with Mrs. Fisher every day for the last 6 years. She's very sorry that she couldn't be here today, so she sends her best to all of you and her extreme humble honor for this award. And to the family, she sent me a note. She wanted me to read this to you, so I'll share this with you directly. She says, "I love you and admire you so much. Congratulations on this terrific honor. From Deary." So a few years ago, the family put together a video to capture Mrs. Fisher's story, her spirit, and her passion for life, generally speaking, not just philanthropy. And there are hours and hours of video, and we thought we'd show you all 4 hours. So if you're okay with that, I know you have planes and things, but instead we actually, we've got a short clip for you. We thought you might enjoy getting a sense of this amazing woman.
We are so blessed, and you are too, and I expect the same from you. I expect the same from even the ones that aren't born. I expect the parents to teach them to give and to think of other people besides themselves. I hope they learn from all of this, from their parents and from their peers, that the more you give, the more you get. And the fact that they're here for a reason, to help people. So all of them, all the grandchildren, I hope you teach it to your grandchildren and to their grandchildren. Now, I have one piece of advice to give each of my grandchildren. When you wake up in the morning, I want you to go to the mirror and say, "I love you," and say, "I'm proud of you." Now, what are you proud of? So do something that you can actually mean that you were proud of. It really does take care of everything else. I read in the paper yesterday, somebody was quoted as saying, "There's life and death, and what you do in between to help people is all there is. The love you show."
tell you a little bit about how the Love Light Board has accepted that challenge. Julie seeks to leverage, to look at early childhood as the key to life success, and is committed to service learning and philanthropy, especially for girls. Dina is a mom, an entrepreneur, and the first to bring the issue of domestic sex trafficking of children to our board's attention. And Caroline, barely 30 and a new mom, and also the owner of a design firm, serves on several boards in New York City. Her commitment to philanthropy is to look for the intersection of her passion and her compassion, and to fund accordingly. This was a lesson she learned from her grandparents.
And we're thrilled to have 6 of the 22 women and girls that make up the 4 generations of the Fisher family here. I'll be brief because I think they'll get angry with me if I were to go one by one. But I am going to recognize each of those that are here, just very briefly. From the 2nd generation, Dr. Marjorie Fisher is with us. She's our vice chair of the foundation, and Lauren Fisher is here. Representing their sisters, Jane Sherman, our current board chair, along with Julie Fisher-Cummings and Mary Fisher. From the family's 3rd generation, we're lucky to have with us today Amanda Fisher and Ellen Sherman. We very much appreciate you being here. And David, Ellen's husband, is here, and he reminds us that he is the #1 grandson. He was the first in the 3rd generation. We can't call him the first, we have to say the #1. It's just something we have going. So from the 4th generation, our up-and-coming leaders, and we often refer to them as our next generation, but they really aren't the next generation. They're the now generation. They're doing all this work now. Are both Jessica and Lily Sherman, and you're going to hear a little bit about Lily in a moment. So all of these women, whether they were born into this family or they strengthened it through marriage, have made a tremendous impact in our world. And they really exemplify the family's passion for tzedakah. This work isn't charity, it's justice. That's what they've taught me over the last 6 years. They give away their time, their talent, their treasure every day, and they're truly living Mrs. Fisher's and Mr. Fisher's motto, that the more you give, the more you get. So please help me welcome to the stage the 4 generations of the Fisher community.
Ellen is going to accept the award on behalf of the family, but the acceptance speech will come from her daughter, Lily.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. As a very proud member of the 3rd generation of the Fisher family, I'm thrilled to introduce my daughter to you, Lily. She represents our 4th generation. She's 10 years old. She's one of Marjorie's great-grandchildren, and she decided to take her passion for the arts and turn it into a jewelry business. So she and I, as a team, have this jewelry business called Bita Lulu, and we donate 30% of all of our sales go to charity. So Lou, you're up.
Thank you, Mom. I would like to thank the Women's Funding Network on behalf of all 4 generations of women and girls in our family. Our family has learned from the earlier generations, and my great-grandmother Marjorie has been the greatest role model for all of us. It is truly an honor for our family to receive such an award. More important is the work that the Women's Funding Network does throughout the world. We want to thank you all for your commitment to such a great cause. My mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother have taught me the importance of giving. I promise to teach my children and grandchildren the same, and tell them the story of this day and especially the award you have given our family. Thank you.